Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Ben Cooper, and I am the primary principal here at Wellington Academy, Alkale. It's wonderful to be welcoming you all online this morning on Friday. This webinar is dedicated to our new parents who will be joining the Academy for the new academic year, 25-26. And this session really just to give you, to touch base with you, because many of you will have enrolled maybe in January or last year and over the past 2 terms in build up to where we are today. So we just wanted to touch base with you to say hello, to give you some information and to give you an opportunity to ask any questions that might be on your mind regarding how you can settle your child into the new academic year by preparing them, but also how you can prepare yourselves as a family as well, because we also know that as parents you'll have your own questions about what your responsibilities will be as you join us here at the Academy. So just a little bit of information about the Academy. First of all, as I said, my name is Ben Cooper. I'm the primary principal here at the Academy, and I have been in this position for the past 5 years. I've actually been at the Academy for 11 years. The school is 12 years old, so I know the school very well. Yeah, it's wonderful to have so many parents joining us this morning. A little bit about what we're about, what we're trying to achieve. So our school vision for the whole Academy is empowering today for a limitless tomorrow. It is our job to equip the students with the skills, the social skills, the confidence, the character to be successful today, but also feeding into a limitless tomorrow. We want our children leaving with us with the belief that they can be anything and achieve anything. And we do that through our 3 core pillars. That's limitless learning, limitless solutions, and limitless possibilities. First of all, limitless learning is really about our academics. It's really about ensuring that our students have been successful in the classroom with their subjects academically, making great progress. And we do that using lots of research. We are a research-informed school. I'm very passionate about making sure that everything we do, we're doing it for a reason. We know why we're doing it, based upon hard evidence, both cognitive science and how people and children learn best, but also in terms of best practice within schools, both within the UAE and globally, and obviously back in the UK as well. So we're constantly ensuring that we are really making sure that our teaching and learning is really research informed and allowing children to make as much progress as possible. The second pillar, is limitless solutions, and that's really about children believing that they should be problem solvers, giving children problems both within the classroom, but also working towards real world problems. We're very much driven by the Sustainable Development Goals. We want children to be exposed to the challenges that the world is facing, but also have the belief that they can make a difference. So it's using that academic ability, using their knowledge and experience to solve real world problems, and that's very much integrated within our curriculum. It's about building a positive school community and solving problems amongst our friends, etc. as well, but also leaving with us that they have the belief that they can use their academics and their knowledge and their qualifications to make a difference. And then finally, it's possibilities, and that's really our ambitious, our ambition pillar. We want children to be exposed to as many areas of the curriculum as possible. That's both within our core curriculum, but also with our extended curriculum as well. We want children to develop hobbies and passions and believe that anything is possible. So those 3 pillars really integrate within each other to really ensure that students have a world-class experience here at the Academy. Here's a brief summary of those our statements for our Academy pillars. I'll just let you read those. And obviously, this is all not possible without my wonderful primary leadership team. I'm just going to hide my face so you can see everybody here on our screen. There we go. So this is what we call our primary leadership team. So there are wonderful members, our staff members, who are there to ensure that the standards in different aspects of our school are exceptional and are supporting our students as best as possible. So obviously we have Mr. Douglas, who's the overarching principal, who I work very closely with to ensure what we're doing in primary is where we want it to be. Then we have myself, and then we have 3 vice principals. We have Miss Finn, who's our primary vice principal for curriculum and student experience, which obviously aligns with that kind of limitless possibilities pillar. We have Mr. Waterworth, who very much focuses on student progress assessment and outcomes. He oversees the assessments and tracking and making sure our students are where we want them to be, and also supporting supporting teachers to personalise that learning through data and assessment. And then we have Miss Sarah Samuel, who's our vice principal for teaching and learning. And then beyond our vice principals, we have 5 wonderful assistant principals. So we have Miss Howes, who's our assistant principal and director of the early years. She was hosting our webinar for our early years families yesterday. And then we have the amazing Georgina Bradley, who will be speaking very shortly. She very much oversees the student learning behaviour alongside Miss Finn. She's there to ensure that our students are meeting our expectations regarding behaviour and creating a really positive learning community here at the Academy. Then we have Miss Rowlings, who's our assistant principal for teaching and learning, and she works on the ground with our teachers, coaching them and ensuring that they're delivering the best possible lessons for our students. And then we have the wonderful Miss Stacey Bradwell, who is our director of inclusion. So should a child need any additional support or need extra challenge, she coordinates with her inclusion team to really ensure we're personalising that experience for all of our students in the Academy. And then finally, we have Mr. K, who is our assistant principal and director of innovation. He really is responsible for ensuring our students get an exceptional experience here regarding the additional opportunities we provide our students. We obviously offer the English National Curriculum, but we also have an innovation program where our students will be engaging in subjects like robotics, programming, coding, STEM opportunities. He'll be running competitions outside of school. So many of our students are invited to go off and compete with robotics competitions. He runs gifted and talented competitions and also inclusion experiences for our students as well. And he really oversees that world-class experience regarding that innovation and technology side of our curriculum as well. So that's Mr. K. And then beyond that, we also have our pastoral team who are there to really make sure that you as parents and the students get a really exceptional experience on a day-to-day basis. I describe them as our miniature head teachers. I can't be in every place all the time. And so I describe these people as our miniature head teachers who look over 2 different year groups. So we have Miss Haran, who works with Rebecca in our early years centre. If you were there on our webinar yesterday for our early years, she supports our youngest students in settling in and problem solving on a day-to-day basis. And then we have our 3 wonderful primary head of phases. We have Miss Tanisha Hall, who oversees our years 1 and year 2. We have Miss Brunton, who oversees year 3 and 4. And then we have Miss Voller, who oversees year 5 and year 6. And basically they're on the school gates in the morning, welcoming students in, solving any problems, and they also your go-to. So if you have any questions or require any support with the day-to-day running of that year group, then they're there to solve those problems and to really make sure our students are settling in at the beginning of the year, but also to really build those positive relationships throughout the whole of the academic year. So we have such an exceptional primary leadership team here at the Academy. It's dedicated to the students being successful both socially, emotionally and building friends, but also to ensure that we're offering the best possible student experience for our wonderful primary children. So I'm now going to hand over to the primary leadership team who are going to talk you through the rest of this presentation today and hopefully answer some of those questions in terms of the practicalities of what does a week look like at the Academy and how can I as a parent and how can I support my child in preparing for the new academic year and settling into here at GEMS Wellington Academy Arkale. So I'm going to hand over to the primary leadership team now. Thank you.
Good morning. It's lovely to be with you this morning. I'm Tanisha Hall, the head of Key Stage 1. I'm just going to start by talking about the national curriculum for England that we follow here at WEC. We have it split into different key stages. So in primary, Key Stage 1, which is years 1 and 2, and Key Stage 2, which is years 3 to 6. We're very lucky to have specialist teachers that teach some of our subjects. Class teachers are responsible for teaching English, math, science, and then our moral, social, cultural studies, which is mandatory across the UAE. they teach projects for change, which is where all our history, geography, art, DT objectives are taught through. Projects for change is really, really important, and so it gives the children so many life skills and develops them more as a whole child. So they link to our sustainable goals, teaches children leadership skills, they work collaboratively, they work towards an end goal, which could be a project, a presentation, and it contributes to causes that are real, that are relevant. So it's just a really important way for them to learn about what's happening in the world and apply that to their learning. We also have our Grow Well lessons, which are taught by class teachers. This is as part of our wellbeing curriculum. Here at James Wellington Academy, it's really important for us that we develop the whole child and their social and emotional skills as well. This helps children to develop their resilience, their self-awareness, their confidence. They do daily activities such as journaling to just really build their social and emotional capacity. Class teachers also teach STEAM and robotics, which we'll hear a little bit more about later on in the presentation, and computing. And then our specialist subjects, where our specialist teachers teach, are Arabic, Islamic, French and Spanish. So for part of the year, children will learn French, and then for the other part of the year, they will learn Spanish, performing arts, music, PE, and swimming. Next slide, please. Can we have the next slide, please?
Sorry, I think we're having a bit of a technical difficulty. Can you?
There we go. I've got it now.
Wonderful.
Thank you. For the academy timings for primary, we have a daily drop-off for years 1 to 6 between 7:15 and 7:45. School does start at 7:45. Lessons start at 7:45. So students do need to be in the classroom by that time, and we have a drop-off window that starts at 7:15. Pickup is from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. for 3 p.m. to 3:10 on Mondays to Thursdays for years 1 to 4, and pickup is on a Friday. It's a shorter day, is 11:50 to 12 p.m. And then for 5 to 6, they are self-dismissal, which is at 3:10. So it's just a staggered exit just for the traffic and flow of traffic, and so that the children get out the building safely. And on a Friday, pickup for our 5 and 6 children is at 12 p.m. Can we have the next slide, please? For the first 2 weeks of year 1 of school, year 1 will finish at 1:30 to support their transition into the primary school. Currently in FS, they do finish at 1:30. The long days sometimes could be a bit of a struggle, and this is something that has really, really worked well in transitioning the children into year 1, making them feel happy. So this is something that will continue for next academic year. If your child gets on the school bus, it will run at that time for the first 2 weeks. About 1:30, school buses will run at that time. Can I have the next slide, please? And here are just our attendance and punctuality procedures. So any sickness or unexpected absences should be reported to the email address that's on the screen, absence_WEC, before 7:15, and copying your child's teacher. This allows us to know where the children are, that they're safe, so we're not wondering where they are. If your child is unwell for more than 2 days, you will need a medical note so that we can put that on the system as an approved absence. Any unexplained absences will automatically be an unapproved absence, and you'll get an automated email. So please, as soon as you can, before 7:15, do let the class teacher know and email absence at work if your child is going to be absent, so you don't receive these emails. We do strive for 100% attendance, and we do not approve leave for vacations. Travel should be done during the school holidays. However, in the unlikely event that there is an emergency and you need some leave approved, again, you just need to fill out a leave for absence form, a request for absence, and send that to absence_work. But all holidays, vacations should be done outside of term time. And the same for early collections. To keep our students safe, to know where they are, we need an early departure request from parents. So if you could also email that to absence@work if your students are going to leave early, so that the class teacher is aware, and then we can facilitate that for you. Thank you. The next slide, please.
Hi, good morning everyone. Thank you so much for joining the Academy. I'm Carolyn Brunton and I am head of Year 3 and Year 4, so that is the phase I oversee. Thank you so much for joining the Academy. I'm going to share with you some of our drop-off and pick-up arrangements. So obviously we have different drop-off points and exit points for all of our students, just to ensure that, of course, all of our students can enter the school calmly and safely on a morning. At our drop-off and entrance points as well, you will see our staff members ready there to greet you on the morning, as well as your children. For Year 1 and Year 2, including FS as well, parents, you're able to drop off at the classrooms, so able to drop off your child off to the classroom where their class teacher will be there ready to greet you. As the students enter Year 3 and upwards, the students enter their classrooms independently. So if you're in Year 3 or Year 4 or Year 5 or Year 6, you can drop your child off at the primary reception and then they'll walk up to class themselves, or you can drop off the back door, which is just at the back of the field, and they walk themselves independently up to their classroom. Which is great for their independence and allows them to, you know, develop that grown-up approach to the school as well. If you do, however, need to speak to the class teacher, if you drop them an email, and they'll be able to arrange a meeting time with you, because obviously you won't be seeing them necessarily face-to-face on a morning, but you're absolutely more than welcome to drop them an email to arrange a time to speak to them should you need to. We have a very much an open door policy. We want to make sure that, you know, you're able to have that communication as and when you need it, which is absolutely vital to ensuring we build those positive relationships. When one thing is making sure that if when your student does enter the school, that they wear their student lanyard as well. And that again is to make sure that we're safeguarding all of our students on site as well. Of course, we have many families who maybe have siblings or multiple siblings, and there's lots of ways that we can ensure that we personalise those drop-off experiences to make it more manageable for you as a family. If that is the case, in September or August when we come back, you can speak to the class teacher and they'll be able to give you a little bit more information about how to make sure that you can collect all your siblings, all your children from one place to make it more easy for you as a family. Next slide, please. Of course, not all of our families can, you know, do drop off and pick up. So, you know, due to work commitments and different factors as families, and that's absolutely fine. So we do offer an STS bus service. So STS, of course, stands for School Transport Services. I'm sure you've seen many of the yellow buses around Dubai and across the UAE. We have if you would like to sign up for that, you can contact Samuel Fernandez, who runs our STS services here at WEC, and he'll be able to provide you with kind of the bus routes and the bus number and all that key information. Please note that we do not offer a bus service after ECAs. So we have extracurricular activities here at the Academy, which finish at around 4:10 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, or not on Fridays because obviously we have an earlier finish at around 1 o'clock, but we do not offer a bus service after ECA. So if you would like your child to be taking part in an ECA, you will need to collect them afterwards. But if at normal home time, we offer a bus service, and you can see those times for departures and pickups. But any further information to register your child, you'll be able to come into our school to go and speak to the STS office, or you can contact him on the email address or phone numbers there. Next slide, please. So like I mentioned briefly, just in regards to the buses there, we of course host and hold extracurricular activities where it gives our students the opportunity to, to experience other activities. It might be linked to sport, it might be linked to academics, it might be linked to problem solving, it might be more some hands-on experiences, it could be drama. We have two types of ECAs. So one is paid, so we have providers who come into our school to host some exciting ECAs. It might be linked to technology, it might be linked to sport, and there are some paid ECAs that you can take part in. Alternatively, there are some ones that are led by our fantastic teaching team here at the Academy, and those ones are free. What you will find is as the term begins, there won't be any ECAs in the first few weeks. You will be provided with information as to when those ECAs start. And when the sign up happens as well. And we do that through an online website called ESM1, but more details as you arrive to our school will be provided. But if you do have any questions about ECAs, you can contact eca_wec@gems.edu.com and they can provide that information as well. But it's an exciting time, and we'll make sure we provide that information to you as it comes available. But for the first few weeks, there will be no ECAs. Next slide, please. And of course, we want to develop a sense of, teamwork here, collaboration. And so as part of that, as many schools across the world and across Dubai, we have a house system. So we have 4 houses, Pearl, and that's linked to the colour of white, Onyx linking to the colour of black, Ruby, red and emerald green. And we use this across the year to link to sports days, link to house points that the students can win or be gained in class, showing good collaborative work, showing fantastic learning skills, behaviour, attitude. And so it gives your child a sense of, it feels a sense of community. So on your enrolment, you will have been informed by the registrar and the admissions team what colour house your child will be in, and that means that their uniform that they wear, the tie has a certain colour on, and the PE uniform also has a certain colour on as well. So please look out for that information that will have been shared, and it's an exciting time for us to work together and foster that sense of community. Thank you so much for listening to me today. I'm going to hand over to Mrs. Voller, who's the head of Year 5 and Year 6, to continue the presentation.
Thank you, Miss Brunton. So yes, I'm Emma Voller. I am the phase leader for 5 and 6. Welcome everyone to the Academy. I'm very excited to be working with any of the Year 5 and 6 students next year. At the Academy, we are a healthy eating school. So we do promote healthy eating in our school. And there are a number of ways in which we can provide your child with lunch, or you can bring your lunch as well. So the students we'll bring healthy snacks either as a packed lunch, or alternatively, you might want to use our house catering company, which is Slices. We do have one day of the week, which is Treat Tuesday, which I know all of the students love Treat Tuesday because they do get to bring in a treat for themselves on that day. But we are a no nut and no pork policy as part of our school. So if you are providing your child with a lunch that they are bringing to school, then it must not contain nuts or pork. We ask that all the students bring a refillable water bottle. Again, we think about our impact on the environment. We don't want to be using up plastic bottles all the time. So a refillable water bottle is what we ask for the students to bring in. We have water stations throughout the school so that if the students do need to refill their bottle, there are plenty of places that they can do that. When the temperatures get hot in Dubai, which can be often, but more so this time of year, and when we first start the year, we do have a policy where all the students will have indoor breaks so that, you know, they're not impacted by that 40 degrees and above heat. We want to make sure that the safety of the children is priority, which is why we do have the indoor breaks during that time. But throughout the year, when the temperature is below 40 degrees, the students will get the chance to use a number of playgrounds that we have for different year groups that they can use, and it's staggered so that they can use different playgrounds at different times. And will be closely supervised by staff when they are on outdoor or indoor breaks as well. Next slide, please. Mr. Cooper, can I have the next? Thank you. Yeah, perfect.
There you
go. So as mentioned, your child can bring a snack, their lunch and snacks to school, but we do offer school catering through a company called Slices. And it varies slightly dependent upon the year group. So in year 1 and 2, the students can either bring their lunch as one option, or as a second option, they can pre-order through Slices Catering Company. The pre-order must be done online before Friday, the week before, and then the food will be delivered to the classroom each day for the student. So lots of our parents opt for this so that the students can have some hot food, and also we cater to make sure that they are completely nut-free as well. For snacks, year 1 and 2 must bring their own snack or pre-order the snack as well. So that is the options for year 1 and 2. However, for years 3 to 6, it does change. So for first break, they do have the same pre-order a snack or bring in their own snack. However, lunchtime, they can bring their own lunchbox, they can pre-order, or they will also have the opportunity to go to the canteen and buy their own food. With that, all the students have a student lanyard, just like this. And as parents, to ensure that the children, you're not giving the children lots of cash and they're bringing it into school and maybe losing that money, we do offer a system where you can go online through GEMS Connect and you can top up your student's card so that they can go to the canteen for lunch and just tap their card so that they can buy their lunch. The email address for Slices is on the slide here. You can contact them if you have any questions about how our services work. And then also, if you wish to top up your student's card, you can go through GEMS Connect, or you can use the link here at Oasis GEMS Education, which will take you directly to our GEMS Connect site, and you can top up your child's card from there. Next slide, please, Mr. Cooper. At the Academy, we understand the importance of communication to parents, and it's really important for us that we are communicating clearly, that we are providing parents with all of the information that they will need to support their child at home, and also for us to support the students. We have that open communication. It's an open door policy. You will receive your class teacher's email You will also have your phase leader's email address as well, amongst many others that you can contact if you have any questions. If you would like to meet with the class teacher, you can reach out to the class teacher via email and they will arrange for a meeting to be booked in either face-to-face or online. But we understand that with parents being busy with work and different things, that we can try to be as flexible as possible in how we meet, and also being flexible with the timings of the meeting, either before school, after school, or in the school day. And we also send through a parent weekly email, which will come to you on a Friday, and it will give you an overview of the week of what your child has been learning in school. It will also give you some notices. And I know myself, my son is in year 1, and I do find this email very useful at just making sure I stay on top of everything that needs to be done for the week. So it's a very useful email, and it will come on a Friday from your class teacher. We also have other ways in which you have a window into the classroom. For FS and for primary parents, we have Seesaw. So you can download the Seesaw app. Your child will also have Seesaw for in the class, but your class teacher at the beginning of the year will provide you with your login details, so that you can have that opportunity to see what is going on in class. There will be pictures uploaded. There will be work that goes on to Seesaw as well that you can see that your child has completed, and sometimes tasks as well that you can do at home or revision that will also be uploaded for you to see through Seesaw. We are moving our system this year to Go for Schools, which will be another way in which you can follow your child's attainment and progress. You'll be able to keep an eye on all of the admin side of school as well through our Go for Schools app as well. So as I said, it's really important for us that we are communicating with all parents and ensuring that that communication is clear and consistent throughout the school. So we do take that very seriously, and we do have that open door policy where if you need to speak with a teacher, please drop them an email and they will get back to you. Our teachers are not always sitting at their desk on the computer. They don't always see all of the emails in the school day. So it can take a little bit of time for them to reply. However, if it is an emergency, then we recommend that you would contact the school reception, and we have the primary and secondary reception numbers on this presentation as well for you to see. Next slide, please, Mr. Griffin. As part of our school, we have home learning, and we again try to make this as easy as possible and all in the one place. So each year group has their very own Padlet, which is a web page where if you scan the QR code, you can go to the Padlet, and every week it will be updated with your child's home learning. So that may range from all of the spellings for the week. It will have links to our apps that we use and that the students use for their learning. It will have all of their specialists home learning, if there is any, and it also has timetables and useful notices that go on there as well. So it's a really great website that has everything in the one place. So if you're ever wondering, you know, what have they got for home learning this week? Oh, do they have PE or swimming on what day? You can check it all on the Padlet. It will all be there for them. And we set all of that on a weekly basis to make sure that we update it, and your class teacher will let you know at the beginning of the year what days it will be updated as well. Next slide, please. We have many useful contacts at the Academy, and we encourage you to reach out to us if you do have any questions. No matter what they are, we can hopefully answer them for you. So please reach out. However, we do have many contacts that can specifically help with different areas. So for example, Miss Brunton spoke before about our bus services. We have our school transport service, where Samuel will be able to answer any questions related to that. We also have our reception and our absence team, which can help out with any attendance. But for example, here, if your child is sick, if you have gone to the doctor and they have a medical certificate, you can reach out to our clinic if you have any questions, or if you need to send that through to them. We have our school counsellors as well, who are always around to support any students, no matter what is going on. We know that lives can be up and down, so it's always great to have that support there as well. So we have many contacts that are here. Please have a look over them. If you do need to contact anyone, I'm sure you can find it here based on what you're specifically looking for, or you can reach out to one of the heads of phase, who will be able to help you and put you in the right direction as well. I am now going to pass you over to Mr. Kay, who's going to speak a bit about our Bring Your Own Device. Thank you.
Morning, everybody. Yes, here at the Academy, we are a very innovative and technology-rich school, and part of that means having access to technology in the hands of our students. Now, from year 3 onwards, having an iPad becomes essential because it allows our students to fully engage with interactive learning platforms like we discussed earlier, such as Century and Seesaw. And these are integral to how we personalise our education and how we allow teachers to track the progress of our students as well. Now, these tools, they not only support core subjects such as maths and English, but they also help our students to develop a sense of independence as well as digital fluency. Just a couple of the keynotes really here. Number 1, the students need to bring an Apple iPad to school that is charged and labelled with the child's name on it. We will never ask you to pay for apps. They'll all be provided by school, or you'll be directed to free apps to download yourselves. One thing that's really clear is we ask that students do not bring mobile devices in primary, nor should they have smartwatches as well. And something that's come to light recently, we would ask that all students, all parents of students, check that there are no VPNs downloaded onto the devices as well, please. Now, we do have detailed policies for our digital provision, which you have access to. If you ask heads of affairs or teachers, we will send those out for you. Obviously, there is lots of issues when it comes to technology in the world, but we at the Academy, we make sure that the students are both safe, secure, and our provision is accelerating and promoting learning. All right, I'm going to hand you back now to Mr. Cooper, who will just tie up this morning's meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, I'm just going to say before we finish today, first of all, if you do have any questions, please pop them in the chat. The second one is that is probably a lot of information overload because there's lots of information there. The key thing is that over the summer, what will happen next is you will be sent over what we call an Academy pack, which will have all of that information and more in a PDF that you can refer back to. And as we move into our induction programme and schedule for both students and parents, as we look towards the end of August, we'll be drip feeding this information back into you as a step-by-step process. So things like home learning won't start till kind of week 2 or week 3. The main focus of the first week is about getting settled, getting the children into the canteen, getting them into those routines, particularly for our new students and making sure they know where they are in the school. And for parents, really making sure that we're helping you set up things like your slices orders and getting you into those key routines, sharing timetables, etc. So we're not expecting you to remember all of that information, but I know for many parents, these are the type of things that causes the most anxiety of, how am I going to feed my children? How do I access this information? What do I do on a day-to-day basis? So I think it's really important we share the information so you know how things work and what to prepare for. But equally, we're here to support you as you transition into the academy at the end of August. So we'll keep sharing that information. So in terms of questions, there's a few things coming through. So when is the payment for the first term expected? So basically, term fees are usually paid before the term begins. So it'll be paid for via the GEMS Connect app, or you can come into our finance department office in the main reception to pay. But generally speaking, they're expected to be paid no later than the first week of that term. And we'll send out lots of reminders to support you with that. And then when does it make sense to start arranging a bus? I would recommend you starting to reach out to the STS whenever you would like, but our STS team will send out a whole school email kind of at the beginning of the summer holidays to start asking parents to register for those buses. So you will receive an email and a reminder to register your child on the bus if that's something you're looking for. But if you would like to reach out to them now, then please feel free to do so. And again, that email was shared on the PowerPoint, but even if you email the written moments team, they'll be able to forward your email onto the STS team. What I would say is please book your bus in advance. We do have a few parents that try and book the bus the day before school starts, and obviously there's lots of careful planning. The buses are a door-to-door service, not like in the UK where maybe there's bus stops and things. So they'll drop your child off at the villa or the accommodation where you're staying at. And so obviously that's careful planning. Bus routes are planned to make sure children aren't on the buses for too long, etc. So if you're trying to book your child onto the bus the day before school starts, that adds to the complexity of that organisation. So, and usually the STS work on a policy where basically you can't book a bus for the next day. It takes at least a week to organise and ensure that the bus knows the route so that we're keeping the children safe and then we're not prolonging their time on the bus. So do that as soon as possible, but equally the STS team will reach out to all parents to start that process towards the beginning of the summer holidays, which is the beginning of July. Let's have a look. If your child has our son has been level 2 English support. We're just recommending attending external English. If your child is still developing English, then as part of your offer, we will have offered your child some English language support in school. And obviously that's part of what we offer here at the Academy. We're an international school. We have students from all over the world who come with different levels of English, and our job is to support them. But I would always say that any head start you can give your child gives them the best possible start. Obviously, the balance in school is, do we take children out to teach them English, or do we keep them in class to make sure they're settling, making friends and accessing the curriculum? It's a balancing act. And so the better prepared your child is to start the school with as much English as possible, it just assists with them settling in. But obviously, we'll do our best to ensure that we're supporting students on straight away on day one. But I would always say that we do offer, obviously, the summer English language camps here at the Academy. So they get to come into school and learn English during the summer. If you can't access that, but you can access other English teaching provisions before you join us here at the Academy, then we'd always recommend that if that's something that you think is really important. And we'd always try and, suggest that the students join the Academy, if they have as much English in their head start as possible, it just assists with them settling. That said, we're here to help all students settle in, no matter what level of English they have. And we have a wonderful English language team to support that. We don't have an extended care to keep children here till 5 till 6 p.m. The latest they can stay is still 4:15 at the end of ECAs on our ECA days. In terms of languages, we offer Arabic, French and Spanish. That's our English curriculum. So the English curriculum is one modern foreign language. We actually offer 2 here, Spanish and French. And then obviously it's mandatory for all children to learn Arabic. In terms of the limiting screen sessions to under 20 minutes, incorporating regular breaks, etc. So, I mean, obviously, that's why we have the Bring Your Own Device scheme. We can educate children far more easily with devices if they have devices themselves, because they'll make mistakes, and we can obviously support that. And yes, what we talk about is the integration of technology. We never use technology to replace any form of learning. So you will see that students write a lot in their books. that kind of embodiment and writing and speaking about their learning is really important for memory acquisition and learning knowledge. We'd enhance the learning through technology. So if we can take the children off to ancient Egypt through a virtual reality experience to find out what it was like, then we'll absolutely do that, because it's going to enrich and enhance their historical understanding. But of course, it's a balancing act to make sure we're not over-reliant on technology, and we're supporting students on not being over-reliant on technology. What I'd also say is the students use the iPads as a reference and support tool. So if a child has been using a device, they're usually not solely working on something on their iPad. They are using it as a reference tool. So they have a dictionary up or a vocab sheet that's there that they've accessed to help them with their writing and their book. So they're not solely using their device. They're using their device to enhance what they're doing practically within their books. When will we have to order school uniform, and will be the opportunity to buy it on site? So we use Threads for our school uniform. The school uniform information will have been sent to you. If you haven't received that, then reach out to the enrolment team. You can buy that uniform whenever you like. There is a Threads store on Shakeside Road, and there is also one in near Global Village. And they're open each day in the malls, and you can book an appointment, or you can just turn up and attend. What I would say is, if you're trying to buy the school uniform 2 days before school starts, there is going to be very busy then, because lots of parents wait to that moment in time. So if you do have the opportunity to order and go to Threads earlier, then please do. I would even advise maybe going down, in the next couple of weeks, if you're in Dubai, and having a look. And you might even just decide to buy them, but obviously buy a size up, because they'll be your child have grown by the time they get to September. But I would just advise that try not to do it 2 days before school starts, because everybody will have the same idea to be trying to go and get their uniform 2 days before, and obviously that means sometimes polo tops run out, etc. The other side to it is, it's not confirmed yet, but every year for the past 5 years we have a pop-up store in school for over the summer holidays. And again, if when that pop-up store is opened, it's usually in our sports hall. We'll send an email out so you can pop into our school and go to our sports hall, and you can access the school uniform from there. And again, it's run by Threads, but we have pop-up stores across different GEM schools in Dubai, and we've usually been one of those schools. So there's other locations that appear over the summer holidays to assist you with getting your school uniform. I'm just checking. I think I may have answered all the other questions. Anything that's not in the academic pack, how should I address them? Dropping an email to the registration team. So, I mean, it depends. Basically, you'll obviously have your class teacher. So the academic pack gives you the day-to-day run of the school. It gives you information about who to contact when your child's sick, how to, if they need to go to a dentist, although we advise them, to go to the dentist outside of school hours if it's really an emergency. Then obviously you can request for early pickups and collections, etc. And how you access slices, all the kind of day-to-day runnings of the school are in that academic pack. If there's things like school trips and things that happen throughout the year, that's what your head of phase, your head of year, and your class teacher are there for. So at the beginning of the year, you'll receive their contact details. And if you need to just ask them a question about what about the school trip that's coming up, or any kind of things that have appeared throughout the year, then your class teacher, your head of year, and the head of phase will be there to support you and answer any questions throughout the year. But certainly, if you're unsure who you need to speak to, the registration team and the reception team are there to direct your calls and your emails to the relevant people within the academy. Yes, the attendance policy. Obviously, attendance links really closely to academic performance. The more students miss lessons, the more chance they are falling behind, because obviously teachers are teaching. It's very fast paced. We want to make sure students are accessing all their lessons, because the curriculum builds knowledge over time. And if they've missed a few lessons, it's difficult to build knowledge on top. If a child's been sick, we do our best to, pardon me, catch those students up, of course. But if you're planning on traveling to your home country for 2 weeks, then that wouldn't be approved, because 2 weeks is a lot of time to miss. And you'd be surprised how quickly over the year, when you get your end of year report, they're missing 10%, 20% school. And if that repeats over every year, If you miss 10% of school each year, by the time you've got to year 10, you've missed a whole year's worth of learning. You know, it all adds up very quickly. So attendance policy is very clear to make sure we want our children to be here every day as much as possible to support them with their learning. If you're nervous about setting your child in, do not worry, because we'll have our induction days and more information we're sharing. So we'll also be sharing a video from your class teacher to help them get to know their teacher and watch a little video introducing themselves. We'll send out a class teacher profile as well and a picture for your child to look at. And then we have our new student induction day where we invite just new students in. I'm just going to mute somebody, just 1 second. To where they get to meet their class teacher just with a new student. So there's only 4 or 5 children in the class. They get to meet their class teacher and settle in. So please don't feel nervous. We're an international school. We have lots of new students join us every academic year. And so we're here to support you through that process. And the teachers are really great at settling new students who've arrived in the country and are joining the school. That said, if you do want some further information, you'd like to speak to someone, just drop the registration team an email and they can forward it to the relevant head of year or head of phase, who can give you a call or reach out to you just to answer any personal questions you might have about how to settle your child into school. Okay. The bus service, it won't start on the first induction day for new students because it's really important that parents come and bring their child to school. It helps ease those nerves. What we don't want is students getting on a bus unfamiliar, being left by their parents and then coming into school. So the new student induction day, there isn't a bus service. We want all parents to come in that day to drop their child off, but also we run webinars and not webinars, we run workshops and presentations during that morning to help parents settle in as well. The bus service starts on day 2. So that induction day is really personalised. It's really slow. We hand the children over. We speak to the parents. We get to meet you as well. And then day 2, the bus service starts. All right. Right, I'm going to end the meeting there. If you do have any more questions, then please do reach out to the team and we'll be able to answer them. It's been wonderful having you here online today. We're so excited to welcome all our new families here at the Academy at the end of August. This is the starting point. We will drip feed information over the summer holidays so that you're fully prepared. And if you do have any other questions, like I say, do reach out to us. We're here to help. We're so excited to be welcoming you in the next couple of months. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Thank you.